Hello. All right, we're continuing on our jam. I actually finished the game. I have this rudimentary version of the game where basically you're supposed to manage your provision and heart, and the goal is to discover the world. Um, it's pretty challenging, and I have few people play and provide some feedback for me, which I think is very good. So I'm going to make some changes based on that today. Um, and then probably update some of the tutorial messaging, UIs, the polish, and etc. etc. Hey, Devi! Wow, you are here. Not a beat missed. Welcome. Hello, hello. Glad you're here. Wow. And here I thought I was just talking to the people who's watching the recording. You've heard the secret message. But yeah, so it's very simple. I haven't done anything. Oh no, Void missed the first. Devi. Now Void is actually officially competing with Devi for the first spot. It used to be Void guaranteed. But yeah, a lot of things are happening here. Actually, this game is available right now for test play, but there are a lot of things I need to change. I suppose I should probably update the today link itch.io, or maybe I could do the pinned message. So I have this one right here. Working Godot jam today. Playable version here. And then I'll just pin this. I don't think it's fun yet. So Niveral Boar says, "Are you making a game for a game jam?" Yes, I am. It is a Godot Wild Jam specifically. It's a once a month jam that are available for Godot developers, and the topic is Journey. There's 3 days left, so I have pretty good amount of time left. And I have a playable version, so technically I already submitted it. But now that I have a little bit of safety of having already submitted it, I can make changes to make it better. Niverabor says, "Oh my god, me too. Are you doing the Good Wild Gem too? Fun." Yeah, so I just finished my first iteration of the game so far. And basically the idea is there are like 80 locations here, and you're supposed to discover all of them, reveal all of them. And you reveal them by going next to it. So if you get to a node, it reveals every node that are around it. And then, each node has first time effect. You use your provision as you travel, and you gather provision. And then you can see like what is causing what here. So I've been doing this. Little tough right now. There used to be an upgrade. I'm getting rid of it so that I can do the upgrade based on a specific land discovery. Land discovery, I mean location discovery. Because I got some feedback saying that having all 80 available in the beginning is a little bit too much, too overwhelming. So I'm going to try to make it so that the generation logic kind of clamps some of these things. Hey, Sammykins. Voice says, "See ya in a foo." No, see ya. But yeah. How would I do that? I do think, since I am already creating basically a cluster of 80 all at once, and I am separating the room by the BSP, I might use my binary space partitioning to do little like sections. There might be something that I could do there. And then keep them unconnected, like disconnected. Have different sections be disconnected from each other. Have little pockets of connections. So let's see. Journey. Oh yes, I was also in the middle of making a new place, new POI, which is, I don't know if it should be gate or port. I think I should make a port, honestly, to indicate that from there you can, port gives you basically some icon of like, oh, if you unlock certain number, you can go to somewhere else. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a port here real quick. Ads starting here on Twitch. If you are subject to that, that's something that's happening. Port. I guess port looks something like this, you would think. With the little flag for the ship. Needs to be not as abstract or not as detailed, just abstract thing. So I can do one of these things like that. And then I don't know if the ship is enough. I think the ship might be enough, actually. Let's say. I'm thinking about the UI of what this might mean. Should I have a lock symbol? I might. You know what? I'm going to do that. The only problem with some of these things is like, I imagine there to be something like this. No. I'll just do it this way. And then do a little outline for this. Of course, a little messy, but it'll do the job. Export. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to create a port, which is a new POI. Luckily, making one of these is not too difficult. Just need to create a new inherited node. So say new inherited scene. Call this port. And port will be POI type called port. And then this one, I will save it under graph map, nodes. Call this port. And then icon texture will be updated to whatever we're using here. Copy. Paste unique. Okay. And this will be updated to 16 or 32 times 5. There you go. So this is going to be a port. McQuarrie says, well, if it ain't Mr. Ez of the Rod. Yes, this is I, Ezra. And hopefully we won't have DC today. We won't disconnect because I've locked down the IP address. So even if new devices connect, I think we are safe here today. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So on the game here, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to update the generation logic where port basically connects small area to larger area, I think. Mikor says, did you figure out the source of the problem for the disconnect? I mean, my theory was that because it's either bandwidth but because it's like every time somebody connects to my router network, I think it had to do with the IP address readjusting when people, because it's dynamic IP, and then the stream being sensitive to that, especially because the bandwidth is like so low, or because I'm dual streaming. So I'm assuming now that I have made a static IP locally on the router for this particular machine that it will not have any issue today. But do let me know if it is. Hey, Devi. Devi says, watch streak reached. 15 stream streak. Impressive. Because says, we shall see. Nope, faith. Wow. Oh, wait, that's Mikuri. Wait, Devi also has a watch streak. Wow, look at us having all the watch streak here. This is great. Hello, fans. Hello, world. All right. So let's see. There are a few things I need to do here. I'm going to do port for this one. And then basically my new update. Oh, hold on. I'll be back. Hello? Hi. I'm back. Don't worry. Let's see. Mikori and Devi having a conversation here. How's your day? Mikori says, pretty good so far. Just working on internship stuff. Well, congrats. Still being in internship stuff. I hope it's fun. Mikori says, for the 20K redeem? What? Oh, Devi says, I think I should warn you as I'm at 13K. Yeah. That's a thing. I don't know. What am I gonna sing? That's the question. I do not have a music in queue. All right. Port is going to have probably good provision and good health. Devi says, I don't know, but it's got to be OG and Korean. I don't have OG Korean song. I have either OG song, which is like old songs, or I gotta go start writing some music for you guys, I guess. Mikori, you can't do that. Mikori already redeemed this several times. Void and Mikori has redeemed this several times here. It's just how it is, I guess. Okay. So instead of the generation logic being completely random, I'm going to have to change some logic here. Let's see how I'm going to change this. So BSP makes it so that the spacing gets generated. So we have binary space or binary partition here. And then we have we fill the POIs and then we do the triangulation. So I think I can actually separate this where not only am I generating, this is like cluster connection, right? And then this will be, I'll be providing the collection of POIs, I think. POI count is global. I guess I don't really need to do this. Let me think. I can do we can do POI scenes, which will be array of packed scene. And then it also takes the BSP root, which will be BSP room node. So get a cluster. So it's going to have a bunch of trees. Get a cluster of section that I want it to be clustered, and it'll cluster those together. And then one of them, I can flip it into a port and I have it connected to other cluster. I think that might be the way to do this. And then that's not going to do anything right now. Like that. And we'll see how this goes. I'll figure it out. Devi says, I'm on my way. OG Song Club, here I come. I don't know if it's as exciting as you guys make it sound like, but I'm glad that it's something that is fun to go for. That's the whole point, I guess. Hey, Cooley. World Gates Dragon says hi. Hi, World Gates. Am I lagging? I think I should be fine. And I gotta say, I don't think I think the fix is working because the new device got connected and I didn't DC today so far. So that's a good news, I think. Or the ISP is just behaving today, potentially. World Gates Dragon, thank you for being here. I see you. I see you. Hello, hello. Okay, let's see. So yeah, clustering here. So cluster connection, the goal here is that given the type of map nodes and BSP cluster tree, create a cluster. And I guess I should also provide the size. POI count should also be provided, I think. So I was given the idea of, I think what could be cool is if there is one ruin per cluster and ruin provides upgrades. So it gives the idea of like people going into different places in order to upgrade. And then maybe I could create one more node that just heals everything. That could be really fun. Like, I'm going to save that node for later type of thing. Sholofelo says, hi, Ezra. I'm working on my Metrovania, wondering, should I create every level separately or one big scene using an area's... Ooh. I mean... I do think that you need to... Because if it's Metrovania, performance issue wise, you definitely want to chunk it up. Like, it's good to keep a lot of the sections together before a single biome, at least. I think it should be, unless it's like that small. No, I feel like that is a common practice, at least. World Gate Test Dragon says, "You're not. The tutorials on YouTube are incredibly difficult. Everyone writes completely different codes. Although they're tutorials, they never explain anything. They're truly for beginners." I don't know what you're responding to, but it's okay. Hey, look, I can always provide more tutorials for you if that's something you need. Credence says, "Guess it depends on your art." Huh? Yes, I guess so. Oh, we started talking about the Metrovania, if we should chunk it up or not. Yeah. Like, if your room, if each room is like a single screen, for example, then I could see the whole world being connected without needing to do scene transition. But at the same time, what is the benefit of not doing a scene transition? Also, you could get away with, if you want to be like fancy, because the player can only go so fast, you can always load up a section ahead and before, like adjacent sections first, and then whenever the player transition over to the new section, then you can load the next section. I guess you could do it that way. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to do it. I don't think any one of them is correct or wrong. It's really just depending on your needs, I think. Hey, what's going on here? Automod blocked KK Mole here. Sorry if you're saying something legit. Let me look at it. I'm gonna allow this. I don't know why I thought it was a something to block. It never, the Automod never blocks this, like, oh, for best viewers, go to blah blah blah.com, and then that one is fine, and but like legitimate questions are blocked. That's silly. Let's see. Cooley says hi. Debbie says hi. Debbie said, "Cooley, I'm good. How are you doing today?" Cooley says, "I'm okay. Trying to be productive. We're going to be productive today." Kikimol says, "Hi, I'm also making a game for the Jam. In fact, I've been sharing screenshots of 3D models I've made. They're in the work in progress section. My username is Kikimol. Good luck." Oh, hey. Great. Let's take a look. You want me to make some comments here? Is it on here? KK Wait, what is? Oh, that's is that? Hold on. Which channel or which Discord channel are we talking about? I don't think I have a GWJ specific work in progress channel, so you're not talking about my channel. But I would love to look at it. Credence says, "That's hot. Loading surrounding areas, level of detail style." Wait, are you saying that the algorithm is hot? Or are you saying that's called hot loading? Because it is called hot loading, right? Well, I guess it wouldn't be hot loading. What is that hot loading? I guess loading while running is considered hot loading. So I guess that would be considered hot loading. Anyways. Kikimel says, "Go to Wild Gem channel." Haha. Oh, I didn't join it, so I don't know what's going on there. But maybe I could take a look later in the future. Turtlefellow says, "I'm thinking of going both, maybe 4 zones and change the scene after those zones are done, sort of hyper system." I think hyper system is what most successful Metrovanias do, because nowadays, because the Hollow Knight has set the new standards, Metrovanias typically needs a huge map. Huge, well-connected map. And the way Hollow Knight does it also is by doing hybrid. Credence says, "Lol, I was just commenting that the algo is hot." Oh, I see. It's a hot algo. Yeah. It's sexy. Also, it's even hotter if you never move your character, but the world moves. Ooh. I mean, you kind of need to do that once it gets to a really huge scale. But most Metrovanias, I don't think you have to worry about that. Anyways, so I am correcting my generation logic so that we do these cluster thing. So idea is I have the BSP leaves here, but instead of doing this over here, I think after generating the room, which is BSP info, and then with the BSP info, I think I would climb down the tree to a portion where basically a level where there's only certain number of leaves, and then send that down. And over here, it's going to grab the root node and then grab the leaves here. Info get leaves does this thing. So probably we should probably create a get leaves logic here as well, which is array of BSP room node. I'm just going to copy and paste the logic from the other one. Sorry, I'm like leaning into the mic, which tilts my body. So I'm going to try to adjust this so that I don't feel the need to like tilt my body. It's a little confusing here. WorldGate S Dragon says, I won't act like some huge fan who never misses a lesson, but what I said was my opinion on the random code written by content creator. However, I would appreciate it if you create a simple course. I mean, I do have a course, but maybe I guess I need to open it up a little bit. I don't know. Simple course on its way. Sure, why not? I'll do some of those in the future. It's just that because most of my viewers are like intermediate to hard, I do stuff like how to make deck builder or like how to build dungeon generator and stuff like that, which is more like assuming some of the basic stuff is there. Like the basic stuff I haven't done really. So maybe that's something I can do. But some people argue is like, oh, with web search and generative AI these days, making content about beginner stuff is silly. I'm like, well, I don't know. I think people still like hearing about it. No? So we'll think about this here. The queue is that instead of root, we're probably going to start with the subdivision here. And then we're going to do that. We're going to pop everything in the subdivision and then grab the nodes and get the leaves there. Cool. I probably should do leaf count. Yeah, let's do that. So on the generate logic, I'm touching a lot of pieces here, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. But what I'm trying to do is I want to include one more information on the node itself, which is I want to include the leaf count, which is basically number of leaves that exists under this room node or this section. That means as I'm building this, I probably need to populate that, I think. And, you know, it's just recursive, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult to add. We'll see. Okay. So we're splitting it. We made a new split. We're going top to bottom. So it's a little bit confusing. I guess. Yeah, I might have to do recursive here. I have one efficient way to do it. Basically, collect it as a array of nodes, all the BSP nodes, and then basically try to get the children's leaf count and add them up. If any of them are missing, put it into the back of the queue, basically. And then eventually it'll make a trip, I think. KK Mole says, okay, I've already sent the template to your Discord channel. Haha. Oh, did you? Okay. Not really sure what you wanted to see, but or hear from me. Let's see. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty cool model. It's giving. I like it. I mean, it's nostalgic to me, the style wise. Fun. Is this like a level? Or is this the whole thing? Like, this is what you're controlling. It's pretty cool. Well done. Look at that. I guess you could have put it on Showcase, I guess, if you're more curious about getting feedback. It's pretty cool. Looking good. Well done. My car says nice. Yeah, exactly. It is nice. Credence says, hey, WorldGate. I think part of it is that there are a lot of people coming from different coding backgrounds and it all seems to work. Haha. I know all about your videos. I'm a big fan. Oh, hey, thank you. Thanks for watching me. I guess I shouldn't have advertised myself to you. I'll try my best to provide some of the stuff that you might need. Well, actually, because you are already somebody who watches my video, if you have any like specific thing, like specific genre or game type that you need help with, let me know. I'll hit it up. On my next queue, I need to finish the dungeon generator. I'm thinking about doing the MMORPG one. I mean, that's just like a clickbait networking. But basically, that's what I'm going to look at, doing networking in Godot. Oh, you are the card gamer. Okay. Well, I'll create a one basically Uber quote unquote tutorial that's like more cleaned up. That's my goal for that one. I'm going to do another one that's like, okay, updated tooling, everything we've learned so far, and here's how we're going to do it from the beginning if I'm actually launching a game from it. So I'll do that one. Creighton says, reminds me of Crash Bandicoot. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's pretty cool. Anyways, all right, let me do this. Area queue. So we're getting the area. We come over here, and then we're creating a new split. Split the room. I'm trying to understand my own code here real quick. That's fine. So I'm gonna just count it up. Over here. So I got a result, and I'm going to do this. Sorry. Oh, am I not centered? Uh-oh. I feel off center. Here, let me fix this real quick, okay? That bothers me a little bit. I'm center on the camera, but not on the cam. Let's see. Is that better? Am I center now? No. I need to be like over here to be centered. All right. Let me inch over a little bit. We're good, right? We're good now. Yes? I feel lopsided these days. It feels weird. Mikori says, there his OCD back at it again. What do you mean? It's not OCD. It's legit. Okay. It's over here. But it feels like I'm looking at the monitor this way. So I'm going to center myself like this. And then I might just turn the camera a little bit, if it'll let me. I need to turn it this way a little bit more. I don't know which one needs to be loosened. Is it this? There you go. No, too much now. There you go. Correct? Correct. Yes. We're good here. Sorry, guys. I just need to lock it down. There it is. Because says you're doing minor adjustment to be center. It's not that minor. It's very major, guys. Devi says I didn't even notice. Come on, man. WorldGate says bye. I'll make some tutorial for you, just for you. I'll be like, this tutorial is for WorldGate's S-Dragon. Imagine having a content dedicated just to you as a viewer. Okay. So this will be a dive queue which is a funny way of naming this. And then we'll climb through the root. I mean, there has to be a better way to do this, but we'll figure it out. Not too worried about it. And then while dev queue is not empty, we're going to repeat this. Var, this is going to be recursive. Because the only way I can think about doing this is by either going all the way down and popping out. I mean, it has to do that, I think. Can I do this iteratively? Only if I'm saving pending numbers. Once I'm at the leaves, I can't climb back out because there's no way to know the parents. So I'm going to do this recursively, actually. I'll do it recursively. Hopefully it won't be too slow. No? Should I not? Sorry, everyone. I'm thinking about this. I mean, technically, I could just iterate through every node. As I go through them, if it has children, sum up the leaf count of the children. If the sum count is not available for the children, then put it at the back of the queue. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. All right. So we have a var leaf count queue. And then this one is going to always receive a current area as part of it. It gets pushed into it. My car says, have you done a video on how you brainstorm ideas for games and game jams? No, I haven't. That might actually be the next one. So I'm going to do my weekly update post on Friday, which basically is going to talk about, well, I'm doing the side thing, which was a game jam, but just kind of talk about like how it still relates to my main project, what I have been doing and stuff like that. And then I want to make a devlog video for the game jam game alone, where I talk about coming up with the ideas. And then, I mean, that's like devlog for game jam itself. And then I guess there's an opportunity to talk about brainstorming ideas. I should make a video on that. I have a very specific like philosophy when it comes to making games and gamifying ideas. But then again, it's like, well, what have you made, Ezra? Your ideas kind of suck. Then I'm like, I have nothing to say to that. You know? Okay. Once it splits, it gets pushed back. It comes down here. We split the room. Do we always split it? Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, if it's too narrow, we skip it. Cool. All right, so that's everybody, leaf count queue. So while leaf count queue is not empty, we're going to grab, and I'm going to do, well, the further split I go, lower it is. So I think I have a better chance of landing a good number if I go backwards. So I could flip it. So I say leaf count queue. Can I reverse it? Is that a thing? We can reverse, and we're going to go through. Well, actually, we don't even have to. We're just going to look at the tail. But it's not a linked list, so if I do push front, it's going to be really slow. Well, we'll be okay, I think. Don't reverse it, pop back, and push to the front. Yeah. All right, so we're going to say observing, leaf count queue, pop back. And then if observing, which is PSP node, room node. My car says, thinking was types of tool you use for it. Huh? How you gather ideas and build on them. Oh, thinking. Oh, you're thinking about like videos on what type of tools I use to come up with like ideas and build on them. I haven't really formalized that part of the idea before. Like that's what I was hoping that I could like provide with my one-on-one sessions when I talk to people about their ideas. Because part of it is like there are natural questions that come up in my mind. That's not really like room dependent. There are some modes of thinking that allows me to do it, but I don't know. We'll have to think. So if it is 0, then not return, geez. The observing leaf count. I guess it includes itself equals 1. Yeah. And then if it is bigger than 0, we're going to try to get all of them. Var sum, leaf sum, and then child in observing get not get leaves, actually it needs to be subdivision. Ooh, you know what? This might actually work. This is like semi-memoization. Hey, Jeremy. McCurry says, so when the Godot multiplayer tutorial? I don't know, tomorrow maybe? I need to look at it first. And then, I mean, that's going to be a hard one because I feel like I do need at least like some basic understanding before I just turn on the recording and go, all right, here's a network tutorial. Let me figure it out live. And then it's like I find out that it's just completely messy and I have to redo it. Mike R says, Ezra, I would have joined your sessions, but the cancer has knocked me rotten. Find it hard to focus, and spending funds on something like that just doesn't fit. But don't get me wrong, I love the idea. Which session are we talking about? And I'm sorry that you're struggling with everything else, including cancer. That's huge. Mike R says, I'm finding there isn't much around on MP. What's MP? What's MP? Godot at the moment. My one-on-one session. Hey, don't worry about it. Look, as I said, for the community members, I'm trying to open it up for free sessions just to have a chat. It doesn't necessarily have to be for content. I'm pretty generous with it, so we'll see. Oh, multiplayer. Yeah, that's right. Okay, thanks. Yeah, we'll figure it out. McCray says, yeah, there isn't, but if there was one person to teach it in a way that is easy to learn, it's Ezra. Well, I'm glad that there's certain expectations of me, but we'll see. We'll see. Basically, hold on. So I don't have to redo everything. This has a potential for being absolutely horrendous in terms of like how fast or slow this is. But I'm gonna say if the subdivision is greater than 0, so it has subdivision. My car says, Mikori, I did get a link from Covino on what he followed for his, and it looks to be documented. Then Cricket did a lot of his on packet generation, which I found interesting. Oh, that does sound interesting. Yeah. No, I mean, I'll take a look and then try to summarize the information as best as I can. It does seem like that's the next thing I need to do. I gotta say, Mykar, you're not the only one. A lot of people have asked about multiplayer. A lot of people are interested in multiplayer. And actually, recently I've been thinking about making MMORPG myself. But like simple versions of MMORPG. It has all the mechanics, but it doesn't have to be like. I wouldn't make like super high fidelity 3D MMORPG, obviously. But I'll take a look. I'll take a look. Looks fun. So if the leaf sum, okay, we're gonna do running sum here of the subdivision, and this is a child node, and for the child node, we're gonna do leaf count. If leaf count is greater than 0, we're gonna add that to the sum. Otherwise, we're going to grab the child get leaves size as my count, which could be messy, but we'll see. Which means I could also make the child's leaf count as that. There you go. So I could do that. If it doesn't have it, grab the leaves, count it up, and do the leaf sum thing. Leaf sum plus equals child.leaf count. And then at the end, I want to say leaf count of the observing will equal to leaf sum. I want to see how fast this runs. Otherwise, it's going to be this. Yeah. And we're popping them back. And we're going from back to front. So I think, ideally, it's going leaf to back. And it rarely hits this. Yeah. So we'll see how long that takes. That means I want to do this. Mykar says, I was looking at FPS Retro Boomer with co-op. Hey, pretty similar. Hey, that's the same thing that the guy that I talked to, what's Thomas, that I talked to for 101 was thinking about. Mykar says, I thought it would be a good portfolio piece as the players would need to be modeled and you have 2 views on FP for local, but seeing the other players. The other thing I keep going back and forth on is FSM implementation Dynasty Machine. Seen so many different versions, node-based, script-based, using state charts add-ons and using the state chart add-ons with the node-based system as well. Yeah. I mean, really, honestly, like the problem is problem. Like you really can't avoid it once you start getting like the networking thing going on. I'm actually very interested in running into the trouble myself and trying to figure out the solution for it. But I feel like since I don't want to waste anybody's time, I want to make sure I go through it and at least do a test version of it. All right, I'm going to fix this part. It says I can call this and pack to POI as that. BSP root will be BSP info dot root. And then the POI count will be provided by this right here right now. And then this one, gotta make sure I don't use the POI count there. BSP root, I'm gonna say, let's call this cluster size. There. Then I'm going to say POI count. Anywhere that I use POI count within this algorithm, I should probably replace that. Cluster size. I think that's all the spots here. Move to POI. Yeah. Okay. So I could say, we're going to say POI count. Cluster connection here. Generation margin. Right. POI position will be adjusted by the margin. I could say offset, position offset. I guess that could be optional down here. And then say it's optional. If it's not filled in, it'll be 0, 0. And then I can do generation margin for this. Then that will, I think, boom. Okay. Is that everything? Yes. Okay. I just want to see how long it takes for it to get to over here. Generation logic. Okay. Whoa, that was pretty instant. That wasn't bad at all. Okay. And it still works. Hey, algorithm works pretty well. I don't know if it's correct or not, but at least it's like returning pretty quickly. Let's see. Mike R says, we'll let you code now. I also ways seem to jump in and distract you in chat. No, it's okay. That's part of the fun here. McCray says, Ezra's love of CRT filter and adding it to all games. Yeah, dude. I can't help it. I feel like whenever the game is like these like simple flat graphics, CRT filter just makes the vibe much better. It just adds to it. It's really hard not to do this. I wish I don't have to, but it feels like that's something I need to do to bring that final polish. It gives that feeling of like, ooh, this is like it's a digital representation of the world. It gives that feeling very quickly and easily. All right, so we're gonna do some clusters here. I think now that whenever I provide it, each cluster will tell you how many children, leaves that they have. I think what I can do is, let's say I want to make if 80 is the goal, I just need 8 cluster of, I just need an 8 cluster of leaf size 10, right? So I would say while var observing, which is BSP node, is BSP info.root. That's where it starts. While the observing room leaf count is greater than 80. We're going to take it and grab its children. But there are 2 children. There might be multiple children with that many clusters. I guess that could be a little interesting here. Var explore queue. I gotta be careful here. Hey, at least I'm really good at I'm getting a lot of practice on what do you call? A lot of practice on graph navigation. McQuarrie, do you not like CRT filter? I mean, okay, look. You guys tell me. You tell me. All right. Okay, let me go to the game here. Get rid of the CRT shader. So we have this. Does this look better to you? I mean, I guess some people might say they prefer this. I don't know though. I don't know. Maybe it's cleaner. Maybe it's cleaner. We'll find out. I'm not too worried about it. All right. Tell me. Well, we'll take a vote here. Hey, actually, just games. Thanks for the raid. Hi. Actually, it's just a raid, apparently. Shout out. Actually, just games. Hello, hello. We're working on Godot Wild Gem currently. We made our first version of the game, and it's available on itch, and I made a submission for that. But I got a lot of good feedback, and now I'm actually making the game somewhat playable and fun. The original, like I think the fundamental idea behind the game is tested now. I just need to make it better. Actually, Just Game says very nice indeed. Davy's unofficial son, hello. I do believe I'm already following you, which I am. Great. Davy's unofficial says fun. What? Yeah. What's the point of game if it is going to be fun? We want this to be as unfun as possible, right? That's our goal. Part of the thing, I'm redoing my generation logic. I'm not gonna say too much here, but basically these type of nodes are generated in this game. The idea is you want the player to discover all 80 nodes, and then the traveling takes a little provision. And then once you run out of provision, you start using your health. And each of these nodes have effect when you first arrive at it, and there are some upgrades related to it. I'm making it so that the upgrades doesn't happen on level. It happens on discovery. So I am doing some stuff here. All right. Devi's unofficial son says exactly. It has to be a grindy mess that takes 282 years of playing to beat. Perfect. Exactly. I mean, how else are you going to make money? You got to make people be addicted for a long time for nothing and difficult. If the player doesn't hate themselves while playing your game, are you even game developing? No. That might be a philosophy of some game company. Not me, though. Kane on YouTube says, I prefer it without it, I think. Without the CRT? Okay. Kane also says, it's basically the same as for all these Unity game with mass screen effect. Okay, fine. I'll do it without the CRT effect, okay? Cooley says, welcome, Raiders. Welcome indeed. All right, no CRT effect. I feel like there was a moment where CRT effect made everything better, and then now everybody does it. Now to stand out, you have to stop doing the CRT effect. Anyways, thanks for the follow, Davies, or Davies, unofficial son. Okay, so we have a logic where I can provide the BSP node, and then it'll use the children of the BSP node to generate a cluster within that section. Great. It's a good thing that I created all these logic here. So I'm going to subsection them by 10 now. So I gotta climb down, which I did that right here. I'm going to explore through these loops. We're going to start with the BSP root info. And then for observing one, which is BSP room node, I will pop front, pop the front and push to the back. And then they don't take curly brackets here. Okay. And this condition needs to change, but I'm going to start from here. We'll probably do this is empty, and we'll say var cluster options. Right. Yes. Yeah. And this will be BSP room nodes. And basically we're popping it, we're looking at the observation and say, hey, is the leaf count greater than, and say target leaf count, which happens to be 10 for us. If the leaf count of the observing node is greater than the target leaf count, well, if it's less, let's do a termination condition first. If it is less, then we're going to put it onto the cluster options. Push back, and then we're going to say observing goes in there. Otherwise, we need to keep exploring. So, wait, what's going on here? Welcome Raiders. Gotamni says, I already hate myself. No need for games. Aw. We all hate you. No, I'm just kidding. No, I had a moment of lapse in judgment. Like I wanted to say, "Oh, we all hate ourselves. You're together." And then I was like, for a moment, I was like, I think it would be really funny if I said we all hate you. Kotamni says, "Apa okwe ke." What? No. It's okay, Kotamni. We don't hate you. At least not all of us. Actually, Just Game says, I still feel like that sometimes. Don't worry, the more projects, the more learning. Huh? Oh, Katami says, I just know that I know nothing. Hey, nobody knows nothing. I think the real trick to learning is learning that you don't know anything and you shouldn't be expected to know anything. It's the acceptance of, oh, it's okay to not know anything is where you truly become enlightened, I think. No? Don't you agree? I think so. I think this should work. We're appending the subdivision if the leaf count is not less than the target leaf count. So we're going to keep rotating until it queues up. It's going to be empty. Now we have cluster options here. And for cluster connections, I think we're going to say, hey, for since target is 80 for now, the target POI count is 80 for now. I'll say, let's see, for I in POI count divided by target leaf count. I'm not sure if 10 is too much or not, but we'll see. So I will go from 0 to this number. And I think we're going to, right now, 80 divided by 10 would be for sure. I mean, it's integer division, so I think it should be okay. I don't want it's yelling at me. So this is 10, this is 80, so it'll be 8. For 0 to 7 here. Quilly says, clipped, shipped, and canceled. Oh my gosh, that would be a clip. I think you should legitimately clip that because I'm too lazy to do that. Actually, Just Game says, well, gotta go. Have a nice rest of stream. Thank you. Thank you for the raid again. I'll see you around. Bye. David Official says, Godot script reminds me of language for Minecraft. I would be surprised. I mean, Godot script, the GD script is based on apparently Python from what I can tell. But I've never used Python before, so. I've used Java a lot. I use a lot of old languages. That's where I come from. The ancient times. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is for all those sections, we're going to do this. before the root node that we select, I'm going to get the cluster options. We'll shuffle it once, and then we're going to pop back. Boom. I think it should work. This might be like, hey, this could be integer. So I'll say it's going to be ceiling I. So it'll not give me a warning, hopefully. Otherwise, it can... is shadowing. Well, let's call this logger. And then we'll go over here. Okay, we're good here. There's some more. I made a logger because I have the stat tracking. Narrowing conversion, that's okay, I don't care. It says integer division. Integer division decimal part will be... it's okay, expect it. Drop the decimals. So I'm going to do that. We're doing cluster creation. I think... here, I'm going to test this real quick and see if it does what I think it will do. It broke. That's what I thought it would do. No, I didn't. Oh, ad's starting. Sorry, everyone. Come back when the ad's done. Hold on. Can I just start the ad now? It says starting soon. Yeah, there you go. Run the ad. Do it. Wait, that's not a... oh, no. I think I messed it up, guys. Oh, no. I did a wrong ad option. It's okay. I'm going to read this here. Jeremy says ads are for plebs. True. Ads are for people. Well, okay. If you officially pay for it to avoid ad, that helps me. But if you're avoiding ad via ad blocker, but whatever, you know, it's your prerogative. I can't stop you. Let's see. Davey says script lang, a coding language designed for server creators who want to add something custom. Old languages are fun, except for Java. I'm learning Fortran. Okay. I had to use Java because that was my day job. Like most of the service industry, when I say service, oh my gosh, that sounds weird. Most of the modern technology companies use Java. So hold on. Let's see. Catching up on chat here. Ads still in progress. Sorry, everyone. Katamni says, oh, Java trash. Java trash! Happens. Cooley says, also, did I hear something about an Ezra multiplayer tutorial? Yes, that's happening. I think I really need to do it. There's been just way too many demand. Plus, I want to make a MMORPG. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an MMORPG. As soon as I'm done with this, and then at a good place with the other one, I'll probably do the... well, I don't know how I'm going to split my time, but that's something I want to do. Davy's unofficial. Maybe I could just make the game I'm working on multiplayer version so that at least like it's not like a complete destruction. Kane says, Java's great. .NET is even better. Imagine you get to decide yourself without anyone forcing you to use JavaScript in the backend. Lol. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It has always been a little bit weird when I was in the industry, when I was working as a software engineer in these like companies. A lot of times, I mean, we do have like a design meeting to be like, oh, what language should we use? But then like a lot of it, I mean, very little bit of it has to do with the fact that like, okay, this language is better because blah, blah, blah. It's more like, well, here are the options and most people know this. And if we're going to hire a bunch of people, we want to use language that are mostly maintainable. So then you end up going against, actually, it ends up being a bad decision to use whatever the newest and shiniest. Because only time the newest and shiniest language comes on board is when we get an intern, and then we give the intern a internship project, like for them to like lead completely, and we just give like design guidance. And then because we don't care as much, just like tooling and stuff like that, then they start using like new language. Then now we're like, as people who's maintaining it, now we have to be like, well, I'll figure it out. Or even have like the exercise of like, we're going to migrate it to the language that everybody is familiar with. So that has happened before, I think. But I think gradually, I remember when I was in the company that shall not be named. Not that I haven't already. I just am tired of saying the company name. Um, that I think Java for the longest time, and then the more modern customer facing side things start to transition into like Node.js with TypeScript. But application company, I don't think I've ever worked with a application company where you launch an application on people's device like Blizzard, like game company. So I wonder what that's like. I mean, that doesn't matter because you're building binary anyway. So I don't know. Tech Guy 99, thanks for the follow. Davey Unofficial says ads are over. Yeppas, at least for me, ads are over. Okay, well, I've been talking here. Cooley says, is Fortran still around? I think some financial sectors still use Fortran and R. I remember that was something that I needed to learn for certain job openings if I wanted to work there. Gatomni says, I didn't get an ed. Wow, fancy. Davies an official says it's used a decent bit in STEM, academia, and stuff. Oh, right. Fortran is good for math. I had to learn MATLAB when I first learned language in college because I was physics major. And then I switched over to double major in computer science. Twitch does that sometimes. Yes. Coolly Draw says, that's awesome. I'm excited. I want to get into multiplayer too so we can learn together. Oh, that sounds amazing. I mean, I already know some of the algorithmic concepts for like reading the future, for example. Different techniques that online web games, or not web games, the multiplayer games use in order to be synced. None of them seem like it's like guaranteed solutions, so we'll see. Gatomni says assembly. Assembly's fun. At least assembly has usage. Like it'll never go out of style, I feel. In that assembly has educational purpose. As an educational tool, assembly and C is great at understanding the machine and how the computer operates. So I don't know if it'll ever go out of style. Davies an official says MATLAB is pretty cool. They have decent control system tutorials. Yeah, at least at the time that I was using it, which was like 20 years ago. Yeah, I'm that old. Oh, well, not 20. Wait, has it? 15? 16? 18 years ago? I don't know, dude. I'm old now. I can't. Gatomni says, I'm non-binary. I identify as Jesus. Cooley says the language before binary, basically assembly, is compiled directly into binary code. Yeah. Which means if you can code in assembly, you can code in binary. Technically. Cooley says assembly is insane. I don't know how some people can code in it. It's just very inefficient, but it's fun. It's like puzzle. It actually does feel like solving a puzzle when you're coding in assembly. Anyways, let's move on here. I had a bug here real quick. Let me see. Invalid access to property key room info. Yes. It says that PSP popback room info is not accessible on null. Null? Hello? Why is there null? Okay, cluster options. Those are the cluster options, which will be BSP room nodes. And then I come over here, I get the leaves. Shuffle. Okay. A little tricky here. I think there's some bug here in the process of splitting. Okay, this one seems 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There seems to be only 5 leaves. Let me see. I'm going to take a look here. Leaf count is 5. So why was that even... Oh. Because I'm looking for something that is within... Okay. Because it's binary. Okay. So if it is smaller than the target, I need to go up 1, it seems. The parent of it. So I need to be careful here. So... All right. So I need to actually look at the subdivision first front, I guess. Fronts, leaf count, then that. What the heck? This is not my playlist. Why is Britney Spears playing? I don't remember signing up for this. What the heck? Not that I have anything against it. All right, this might be better here. Okay, still nulling. Let me see. BSP leaves here. Let me come over here again. Boom. Let's see. Commander says, is assembly LSP? LSP? Is that L or I? I don't know what that means. Either way, sorry. Let's see. Newhouse says, I am 8 binary. I identify as. You mean 8-bit? Davey says, assembly looks fun. Yeah, it is pretty fun. I mean, do you want to get into it? I mean, look, this is it. So, computer, basically, it looks at this input signal, like the commanding bits. So you have like slots. Let's say you have like boom, 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 boom. Well, depending on your bus size, right? Basically, this is your bus or whatever, your instruction. And contractually, we said, you know what? These first 4-bit will decide which built-in to your hardware, built-in instruction we're going to use. And then the rest will be configured as a parameter for it. So for example, if I say, I'm going to jump, meaning I'm going to jump to an address, and I say, rest will describe what the address that I'm jumping to is, for example. So if I have something like this can be interpreted as jump command and then address, what is it? 138. So that's 11. So address 11, we're going to address 11, meaning within the memory selection, we're going to the code number line 11, essentially. So this is how the machine code works. Assembly is a direct translation to it. So instead of doing 0001, now we're saying jump. Instead of using binary for address, which we can use hex now, which can be like, I don't know, 08 or something like that, or 9. And then stuff like that. You have, I think. Anyways, I mean, that's all that is. And now you do combination of those things. It's not that complicated. It's just same thing as coding with syntax. It's just much more fundamental building blocks. Gatomni says, I prefer Melbolg. No idea what that is. Days Unofficial says brain. Oh, no, I know that one. It's censored, but I know that one. That's supposed to be the uber object-oriented concept. That's also a puzzle language. Wait, no, that's not that one. That one is just a bunch of symbols, right? There was another one that's uber object-oriented. Davey says, I ought to go back to locking in. See ya. Was fun chatting. Yeah, no problem. I'm going to lock in here too in a bit. Cooley says, see ya. Devi says, and just like that, I am back. Welcome back, Devi. We've been waiting on you. We're going to ask you a question, Devi. No, just kidding. No questions. Welcome back. All right. I'm just going to take a look here real quick. This one has 1, 2, whatever, 14. And we're looking for 80. What the heck? Oh, that's why it broke. We want to say this POA count. We're going to do cluster count instead. Cluster size. Where is it? Target leaf count. I guess that's a cluster count. And that, I think, should work. Still hitting null here. Let's do that again. I want to see when the null is hitting. BSP leaves. There's 10 of these. Cluster size is 10. And so we're going to go to 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Where I is 9. Wrap around and we jump. Sick. I think that's okay. So we resume. New ones come through. 11 size. 11 is fine. Oh, and then we got one with just 2 as a subsection. Why? I mean, it shouldn't be there. I'm going to go over here real quick and see if my subdivision logic is wrong. Let's look at the cluster options. This one is 12, 10, 8, 82, 10, 12, 8, 13. What? Hold on. Cluster options. We made it so that if it's subdivisions, leaf count is less than the I'm gonna have to take a look at what's going on here. It must be randomly selecting some of the sizing issues. Okay, this one is 27 and this one is 9 and 18. 9 and 18. Okay. Okay. All right. I guess it splits things unevenly. I didn't realize that, but we'll see. Katami says, this is Hello World in it, in that brain F language. Yeah, it's crazy. Devi says, and Void can't see that. I took the crowns. Oh, what? Oh, Devi says, the answer to the question is 42, indeed. Devi says, I realized the berries aren't there. What? Berries are here. Oh, wait. Is it being covered? Hold on. Oh, what the heck? Oh, is it because I rebuilt it? No, it's here, by the way. It's just behind. Here, let me reset that. Actually, I did a rebuild of it. Here. Hold on. Let's see. Capture specific window. Window we're trying to capture should be Berry World. Why is this a debug? There you go. Huh. Sorry, everyone. It's here. It's here. I didn't realize it wasn't on in the front. It's there. Gatomni says, gotta go, bruh. Bye, bye, Gatomni. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks to all the raiders out here. Okay, so the problem seems like they're not evenly split. So I think I need to adjust the logic. Basically, if none of the children can fit, then I queue it up. Otherwise, I queue the children. So I'll say var has valid children, which will be false. And then for child and its subdivision, we're going to say, hey, if the child dot leaf count is greater than target count, then if it is greater, then we're going to queue it up. Push back. Otherwise, we're going to, I guess if it, hold on, greater than equal to. Otherwise, don't do anything. I'm just going to set this to true as long as I have one. And then if has valid children is false, then the cluster option itself is the observing one. Okay, like so. So I'm trying to look for only the cluster that just barely fits the desired count. Let's see if that works. Gatami says, oh, they went away. There we go. Yeah. Gatami says, if the children can't fit, then what? Hotboxing says, if the glove don't fit, make it fit. Isn't that the quote? I don't know, actually. I'm just making stuff up here. Okay, BSB leaves. 12, 10, 13, 13. This is great. Much better. All right. So a little bit bug-ish. I think I'm gonna this was only for sake of observing. So let's take a look here. How the clustering is looking. It seems like to feel like it's working. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's doing some sort of clustering here. It's looking more clustered with a single line out. Now I have to make it so that the lines are drawn better, I think. There's still some bugs here, but I gotta figure it out. Devi's just busy kicking people. Did you steal it? No, you're still trying. I know it's tough. There especially with the stream delay. Okay. So we're making the clusters. I want to make it initially so that just for the sake of testing, the edges, we're doing this connection, triangulation. Okay. Instead of pushing the entire POIs into the POI cluster, I'm going to make a temporary POIs. Actually, I'm gonna change all the global variables into different names so that I don't get confused here. Let's say POI like that. Map size is okay. I think this should do it. So over here it's gonna yell at me. That's okay. This is okay here. And then clear, do that. A lot of kicking going on. It's hard. It's hard to catch me. Hold on. I'll change my berry. Change berry, berry Allen. How about that? Maybe more chance for you to kick. Or I could even make it even better. Here, let me go on the platform so that you have higher chance. Oh, I missed it. Did I do it? No, I missed it. Hold on. Yeah, your berry is a slow stalker. Unfortunately, there's no the direction control function. I'm trying to get there. Yeah. Oh no. Ah. Hold on. I got that. I'm gonna try to get on there. All right. Here I am. Try it now. I know that's a struggle itself, but we'll see if that helps. Okay. Cluster connections here. Instead of pushing it to POI, I'm going to create a var resulting POI map node. And then that's where we're going to collect it into the edges. We'll do resulting POI here. Blah, blah, blah. All that. Like that. Just going to do some drawing, and then I'm going to return the resulting map node. And then I'll do that. Returns array of map node. And var result. We'll just put the POI's append result. I think this will leave everything clustered. If it doesn't break, that is. But it did. Hash code. Edges are nil. I see. Pop back. We'll say if is empty. We'll break out here. We don't need that. Debbie says, oh my gosh, now I have to slow walk and make the jump twice. Quilly says, we need a way to throw each other so I can give you a boost. You can kick people. You can kick Devi to help Devi if you want, I think. That might work. Invalid access to property key position on base object nil. Oh, the current is nil. Oh, interesting. Oh, village is empty. What the heck? What the heck? Let me take a look at this real quick. Changing the game logic is always a hassle. Oh, it needs to be a append array, doesn't it? There you go. There you go. Kind of. Huh. Interesting. Okay. It's getting there. It's interesting that they're all in a line. Okay, this is one cluster. That looks better. The rest of the clusters are not spawning for some reason. Okay, well, this one is really in order for some reason. I have to change the spacing here. Okay. How about... So one of the edges get created, but then the second one doesn't get created. Okay, let's take a look at why it's doing that. With the cluster connection here, point to the edges, creating edges here. That's not global. That's not global. Da, 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 da. Unselected edges. And then we go over here. And then we add it to the selected edge. Edge will equal to the values of the selected edge. Oh, right. Because the draw triangle is a reset. So I'll say instead of doing that, append array here. And then probably on reset, this should be updated. Like so. Okay, there it is. Interesting. Some are more clustery than the other. Okay, this one looks like a cluster. This one looks like a cluster. This one looks like a cluster. And then you have this. Oh, wow. I love that. I guess that makes sense that it did that. Interesting. I mean, they are neighbors. They are neighbors. Okay, I got it. I got a better idea. So to give more space, I think to give more space, I can target for 20. I can target for 20 and then still only do 8 per cluster. I don't know if that's enough space for the map size. And then my BSP generator, each section is 128 by 128. Okay, no obvious bug. Oh, they're really far away now because of the whole 20 section thing. Because binary partitioning is like this, that everything under the cluster tends to be in a strip because it's dividing it this way and then it's randomly choosing left or right to divide it the other way. I might have to make it so that it splits always vertical, horizontal, so to make the cluster a little bit more circular. Instead of choosing a random split direction. So right now, split direction is determined by if it is too narrow or too short. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. Kind of. Also, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters for this one. Four cluster each, maybe? It's not very straightforward, I have to say. I thought it was going to be as simple as just using a different cluster. Generate here. Got the margin. Let's say we're going to do 12 section. And then we're just going to go 10 cluster. Let's see if I, okay. There's not necessarily this many cluster available. Let's make this like, that's okay. We can make the map size a little bigger. How about I get rid of this? It might make it more spaced out, but at least I want to see. Man. Yeah. Some of them are better than the other. It's definitely a cluster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, interesting. This one is in the line. This one is so good. I wonder if I have to do 2 separate BSP logic. So I'm gonna split the area into 10 big chunks. And for each one of them, I do BSP separation of certain size. That might be the answer. Suspected spam. No, thank you. Let's see. All right. Generate. Okay. We're gonna split into big chunks for clusters. So that'll be BSP generator, minimum room size would be vector 2 of, I'm thinking it's going to be like 128 times I'm thinking 10 by 10 here, so 10. So we're going to split this. But it's the same thing. Same thing as doing it, split it into 120 up by 128. I feel like it's the same, but maybe not. So we'll have big sections. Oh, I have a great idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do small binary space partitioning. And then I'm going to do a big binary partitioning. And then for the small results, I'm just going to offset. That's right, because I already have an offset parameter available. Okay. Let's do that. So we are going to do a big BSP. And then we're going to do it in this map size with the margin. And that's a big chunks. This one will be a big BSP. And then we have the big BSP info. And then for each of the rooms, for I in cluster size or cluster count, where cluster count right now, we're going to say there's going to be 8 clusters. For each of the cluster, I want to do a smaller BSP. So we're going to set the generator's minimum room size to be 128 here by 128. Or maybe even smaller. Let's see, we can do 40 by 40. And then for each one of them, we're going to generate rooms of this one. Var cluster area size. So we're going to do that and do a cluster area size here and generate this, which will be cluster BSP, which will be BSP info. And then for each of the cluster BSP, I don't think we have to do the whole leaf count thing anymore. I think we can just provide its root. And then we got this. And then for the cluster connection, we can say, okay, given these options, we're going to take the cluster BSP root and say I'm going to put 10 in there. And then the offset will be given by the leaves in this. So we'll say big BSP var cluster BSP, or I guess we got to convert it, huh? What's going on here? Okay, I'm back. We be locking in over here. Okay, let's see. So big BSP, I grab the leaves, which is not that complicated. So I'll say var big leaves BSP room node get leaves. Lovelane, hey, says, how's it been, Ezra? It's been well. You know, still surviving, still making games. Right now we're trying to finish the game for the Godot Wild Jam, and we have like 3 days, I think, which is plenty of time because we just finished our first iteration of the game, which obviously is available on the pinned link. but we already got plenty of feedback to know what to change. So we're working on some updates here. Getting it done. How has it been for you, Lovelane? Hope all is well. Of course. For the offset, I'll probably do a shuffle and then pick a random place, pop back, and then this one's going to have room info, which I think is a rect. So room info, I think, will provide the position plus, I guess I should do this here. Our offset or offset rect will be big leaves pop back, room info. And then over here, we're going to say position plus size divided by 2. I think that should work. And then we're offsetting everybody by that. I think we're okay here. Lovely says, no complaints. I suppose been doing a lot more 3D stuff than game deving. Oh, I mean, that's fun still. Okay, this looks a little bit more promising, doesn't it? We have this cluster. All right. Okay, so this one is a little bit off here. But it's okay. I think we can work with this. We got little clusters here. We can tighten up the sizing a little bit. Hey, Jacob. Welcome, welcome. We're just redoing some generation logic to make a small generated subsections as opposed to one big map right now. I don't know about the margin, but I think the cluster area size could definitely be a little bit smaller. And then subsections are okay. And then I can take care of the... Okay, that's okay. That's really close to each other. I think I want to make this a little bit further so that they don't become so tight. Okay, this feels better. Okay, there's some sections here. Okay, not too bad. I want this to be more next to each other. The clusters to be next to each other right now. So the area size is okay. I think the map size is a little too big, so I'm going to go change the map size to be a little bit smaller. Let's see if that will help. Not enough room. Let's see if this will work. Okay, we're still getting to the not enough space territory. For now, let's see. I want to see how many clusters we're getting out of this. Big leaves, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're getting 4 sections. Okay. What if we did 32 here? I mean, that's still half. So we're getting 4 sections here. Just gotta adjust until it makes sense, I guess. Just need to be just enough. 7. Just under what we need. So maybe 3/4. Okay, I think that's enough. All right. And then, I mean, there's still empty sections. I guess I could make the cluster size a little bit smaller. So let me change the cluster size to be slightly smaller. And then this one can be even smaller. Okay, a little bit closer to each other. A little bit more forgivable. These sections seems to be really far apart. I think I do want to make the sections a little bit smaller still. We'll reduce the size of each sections. Let's say we do half here. And then we'll make this be like 3. Okay. A little bit tighter. I want to say something is off. Something is off, but I can't quite tell what it is that's off. I mean, this one is closer to each other. Maybe I need to fill every subsection. Here, I'm going to increase this to 4 so that it's a little bit more spacious. And then instead of doing cluster count like this, I'm going to do a while big leaves is empty. Okay, so we're going to rotate until big leaves is not empty. Let's try that. Okay, a little bit more evened out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not too bad. Could be worse. And basically, they have to connect to each other. Now, which one connects to what is, I guess, do I do a random one? Because connecting this way is like way too far. They should probably connect to like 2 closest ones, I think. This is looking okay right now. Okay. And we're going to make different biomes here. And each one will have 1 ruin, I'm thinking. Each one will have 1 or 2 ruin, 2 ports. And ports always connect to other ports. Yeah. Okay. Almost there, almost there. And then some of them will be heavily forest. Let's do that. So I think I can pre-make these actually. Do I do enums? If I organize it, potentially. Wilderness cluster, array of integer. I would say that is 0, 0, 0. How many are we doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2. I know this is like very hard coded way to do this, but I think it's okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll maybe add 1 port. A 5 here. And then, hey, who cares, YouTube? Welcome. Let's say wilderness is mostly forest. Forest port. And, well, I don't think I have to include the ports. I think that has to be automatic. A 1 or 2 port. Hard configuration would be forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 forest. Let's say 5 forest and then rest can be random. Okay. Let's say ruinous cluster, which will be the mountain cluster. I think what I'm going to do for this one will be a lot of mountains, some forest, guaranteed. But most importantly, there are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra ruins here. Guaranteed extra ruins. Civilization cluster will have more village. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. More village, more ports. Oh, that's not ruin. 2 here. And then ruin, forest guaranteed. We can have swamp cluster, which will be mostly swamp. 0, 1, 2, 3. Swamp. And then each one will have guaranteed 1 or 2. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. Under generate, for each of the cluster, probably do var cluster options. Devi says, gotta head to doc appointment. Oh, good luck. I'll see you around, Devi. Bye. Yeah. It says, have a good day, night, afternoon, or whatever flavor of time you might be in. All kinds of flavor. RFX says, bro, make a 3D third-person shooter game in coming lives. I'll try. No guaranteed here. I'm sure that's something that I can try to do in the future. If only I can just do it. That would be awesome. I think I want to do guaranteed 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many swamp we want. I think. And then we have a random cluster, I think. So for each of the clusters, we'll do shuffle and we'll do pop back, and cluster connection will actually be, instead of array of pack scene, it's going to be array of int POA index look for packed POI here. Instead of instantiating, what's going on here? Here it is. Instead of picking random to instantiate, we're going to do POI index. Pop back. So we'll do this as well. Like so. We're going to instantiate that. If this is empty, we're going to say probably var packed POI equals, or not packed POI, is probably like selected POI scene, which will be packed scene, will be random 1. Pick random. If it is not empty, we're going to do that. And then instantiate that for a cluster size. There you go. And then in addition, I think we want to create 1 or 2 port and 1 ruin. So we'll say cluster options, push back for I and random I of 1 to 2 at 1 to 2 port. Add 1 to 2 port, which is port index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 here. Add 0 to 2 village. Actually, should there be? I think there needs to be at least 1 guaranteed village here. 1 guarantee. 0 to 1. 0 to 1 village for I in random I of 0 to 1. I think randi should be range. Who cares? Yusuf says, sad day yesterday, still moaning and groaning today. Had a power outage yesterday. My main server went into kernel panic mode. Tried to recover, but accidentally deleted the drive. Oh, rough. I'm sorry. That sounds rough, actually. Well, hopefully today will be better. I know things don't often feel automatically easier just to move on, but I'm sure things will be okay. Things will be okay, but I know it's rough. Sorry that happened to you. Options, pushback. Ruin is guaranteed 0, 1, 2. 2. Oh, that's not where it goes. Our cluster build array of map node will be that. Like that. Whoops, wrong one. So if cluster options is empty, like that. Otherwise, I think we're going to just put 4 random ones. There you go. I think the random shouldn't include the port. It's okay. Let's see how this goes. Some of them is guaranteed to have 4 forest. 10. There you go. Oh. Zero. Invalid access to property or key null on base array of packed scene. Either picking a random one or popping back the index 0, 1, 2, 3. Why doesn't that work? It says invalid access to property or key null. This is considered null. Interesting. Hooker says, I have backups, but it'll take time to recover, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, backups is nice, but I'm sure it still feels awful. I'm not really sure what's happening here. Oh, whoops. Wait, hold on. This is array of packed scene. So I'm grabbing a random index. So why doesn't it work? Do I need to just do it this way? Weird. It's still saying that I can't do that. Oh, I'm guessing this is returning null? This seems wrong. I'm just curious. The variable type is being inferred. Yeah. It's int. Array of int. Weird. Hmm. Trying to assign value nil to an int. So popback resulted in null. Interesting. But it's not empty though. I could see that it's not empty. Am I crazy here? It's array of int. Okay. Well, I guess that's just how it is. um, can I just do that? Weird. Hmm. Okay. A little better. A lot of village on this one. A lot of mountain on this one. Ruin. Oh, this one's missing a ruin. I thought I guaranteed a ruin. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there's a forest one. Village. Oh, I didn't do a ruin. Oh no, this is guaranteed ruin. One guarantee ruin. So 1, 2. What's the maximum? 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm adding 4 to the already existing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one has a ruin. This one has a ruin. This one has a ruin. Let me try that again. See if it consistently makes one without a ruin. Okay. The random needs to not include the port here. Call this random filler options, POI options is just simply forest, mountain, ruin, swamp, village, no port. And then I'll include that over here. Like so. Okay, it's a little better. I thought I guaranteed a port. This one is a port. No port here either. Seems like some of them are just... cluster is 10. I'm going to have to look at it over here every time. Let's see if they're consistently the right size. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3. Wait. Wait a minute. Doesn't seem like it's adding these. 3, 3, 3. Oh, I'm so silly. It's because these are constant integer arrays. Okay. I can't just take these. I'm going to have to copy them, apparently. Hopefully that'll make it so that it's mutable. I don't know if that will make it mutable or not, but we'll test it. Okay, that does work. Nice. All right, so each one of them will have guaranteed stuff. This one has 3 ports. Okay. Little bit better. Still a little bit scary. I think we're okay here. Now I can turn on my fog of war again. The neighbors are not being properly detected, so now I need to do that part. The neighbor detection here. So edge. Draw triangle draws the edges. We're getting a bunch of triangles here. POI, resulting POI. We're adding them. We have the POIs. For the hover option, we generated it. Select random village. Do that. For the neighbor detection, We're seeing the connections, which gets updated. Connection handler. Okay. Let's take a look at where the connections are being done. We're creating a new connection every time. Okay. So we'll do this way up outside of, excuse me, cluster connection so that it doesn't get reset. There you go. Okay. Okay. Most of them just takes one provision right now. It's not terrible right now. Like so. Okay. That's good. I'm going to say Ruin gives upgrades. Renegade Pig says, I beat the game. Autophagy is OP. Yeah, that's the best one. I put that on there on purpose because otherwise it was like really like hard to make a build. Thanks for trying it out though. I'm surprised that you actually had the patience to finish it. I'm making an update here so that instead of leveling based on the discovery, you level by finding a ruin, like visiting a ruin. And then there's different clusters. And each cluster you get out by revealing all the areas within the cluster. And then you can go from the port to the other area. I guess the question is, I'm gonna actually increase the consumption rate. So I'm gonna slow it down. The travel consume period is going to be 1 second again. So every 1 second it consumes one. And then for the port, I'm going to put static requirement. You open up port by the requirement to open up the port becomes increasingly harder and harder, I think. Renegade says, fun idea. Otofegi definitely carried me. Couldn't beat it without that. Yeah, I think that's the kind of, it's like an auto shield. Hopefully this will make it a little bit more doable. And thanks for trying it, though. Appreciate it. Thanks for the feedback, as they say. Hey, Denimal. Welcome, welcome. All right, let me think about this. So now that everything is there, I need a port connection. The port connection that gets disabled, I think. So we need to connect the port to another port. And then that needs to be a different color, I think. Renegade says, I like the idea of the double HP buff, but no provisions, but Otofegi is basically double effective HP anyways. Yeah, it is true. It's like produces shield type of thing. Cool, he says, the Danimal? Yes, that's true. The Danimal is here. All right, I'm not really sure how I'm going to implement this part. So now I need to do a new thing where the connection gets revealed via condition. But before I do that, I want to... Oh, hey, thanks for the follow, Renegade. I want to first make a requirement where visiting a ruin does the upgrade. So we're going to say, instead of check level, I think we can say func level up on the game stat. And then we can just do this. I think that will trigger the upgrade thing. Trigger, instead of level up, I say trigger upgrade. Trigger upgrade selection. And then under journey mode, I would say when we're visiting, move to POI. When we visit for the first time, provision, health. We're doing it for the first time. If current POI type is POI type ruin, we're going to do that on the game stat. Trigger upgrade selection. There you go. Hopefully it'll just work. It'll do all that. Yeah. Let's take a look. Okay. All right. That was good. All right. Okay. 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 There's a little bug where if I click. All right. I think it shouldn't be on release. It should be a click. So let's say arrow button. First of all, I'm going to fix that bug real quick. Travel button should only trigger on pressed. Is pressed. And consume or handled. Set process is like a set as handled, I think. I forgot what it was. Input like that. And then the other button, upgrade button as well. So that it doesn't double up. Denimal90 says the one and only. Cooley says, what about the 89? True, what about the 89? Cap. Little OP. If I get 2 upgrades back to back though. Wow, this one has 3 ruins? That's a little bit OP, isn't it? I think I'm going to have to reduce the number of ruins out here on the generate. Generate, let's say 0 to 1 ruin. No, that's too random. I think there needs to be at least guaranteed 1 ruin for an upgrade. And then the random options should not have the ruin 0, 1, 2. Like so. Okay, this is a little better. So there's 1 ruin here. Okay. Port is good. I'm going to need that. when visiting swamp. Ooh. Swamp Diver gave plus health. Okay. 2 ports here. All right, this is revealed. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it should be multiples of 8 to unlock each port. And then you unlock. That's going to be a little bit tricky, but I think I can do it. Port. I don't know how I'm going to indicate that it requires certain discovery. I guess I would say like label might say require 8 or something like that. I mean, could it potentially lock users out? I guess it could. And then the user can visit. Okay, you know what? I have a better idea. I'm going to create. Okay, I got it. I'm going to create a lock symbol, lock button that you can press when you're at a port for each of the paths that's connected to the port. And so you get to choose which path from the port you get to unlock. The ones that connect the ports. This one is kind of really bad. This one's going to be really hard to get to. I don't even know if this is possible. Anyways, you get the idea. Yeah. Let's do. I'll do a full neighbor detection. So for the port connection, first of all, I got to make separate connections for that. It's going to be a little bit complicated, but we'll try it. Connection handler. I mean, I guess it seems like there's no real reason for there to be more than one port. I'm going to make it simple by just having one port, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one doesn't require a port. And then we're going to say on generate, the guarantee is 1 guaranteed port. Denimal says, I eat them to assert dominance. Denimal, I think, gets banned from Twitch all the time or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making rumors up. It's not real. Can't. This one has a board here. This might be impossible. Actually, this seems really impossible. We'll see. We'll see. I guess that's why the port should give 10 provision. Okay, here. I think port should guarantee give 10 provision. we'll get 10 provision from port and 5 health. Tenable says, I've never been banned, haha. Where'd that come from? I don't know. I just made it up. Because anybody with number. I mean, I know it's probably because that's your birth year, as you know, a lot of us do. But some people do a number because they get banned. And you've been banned 89 times by Twitch. That's why you made the 90th one. That's my headcanon. Cooley says, cosmetic mod. Exactly. Cooley says, it's okay. My sword is made of plastic. It doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't. Emma said, man, I'm a bad boy. Yeah, indeed. You've been a bad boy. Being banned 89 times. Okay. All right. Mikura says, well, hey, at least the one thing didn't happen. What's the one thing? By saying the thing that didn't happen, you're gonna make it happen. Is that the fear? Okay. So next thing I'm gonna do is, man, I'm really doing dungeon. I'm so glad that I have already done my dungeon generator tutorial thing series already, because I'm utilizing a lot of the information I learned from that. So I'm actually going to do what do you call? Let me think about this real quick. I can get all the ports. So after generating everything, and we have the POIs, right? And then we can filter the POIs by type, right? The type that is we're looking for specifically the ports. So we're collecting all the ports, which will be the map node here. And basically all the ports, we're probably going to do a secondary connection, which would be which we'll see. I'm gonna have to do the Delaunay's triangulation on them, on just the ports, kind of like the entry. Should there be a teleport? Should would drawing a line be confusing? Daniel says, haven't you finished and made millions yet? Maybe. Maybe, I'm not going to tell you. Because says, can't say, don't want to jinx it. I know what you're talking about. I don't think it'll happen. I think I fixed it permanently. I think it was the static IP. Daniel says, haven't you finished the millions yet? Or I already read that. I kind of wish it. Millions, here I come. Right now. I am getting millions right now. Everybody's buying them. Buying all my games being purchased as we speak. Yep. For sure. Anyways. It's so easy, right? Yeah. Super easy. Not a problem. Okay, so I'm going to get my Delaunay Delaunay triangulation logic real quick. I might have to section this out to a function so I can actually utilize this. So we have a new POI, resulting POI here. So this is the edge creation logic. Func. Create connections, which will be array of triangle. And then this would be resulting POI that goes in here. Var edges. then resulting POI here. And do something with it. But the creating connections requires connecting POIs. Node. That. Something's going to happen. Indent. Oh. Nothing here. The cluster size is the issue here. I would say cycle edge count, which will be this. So I provide how many edges I want to add back. And then that's what I will be using. Then this one is access to a global. I don't need to do that. Here's right at the end here. It's definitely not simple, I have to say. But this is helping me kind of subsection some of the functionalities to reusable sections. It's missing a bunch of things. I want to return the selected edges, I think. This. And then this one happens up here. Not everything has a return value, it says. So this one will... I think this needs to be untabbed, actually. Cluster size, resulting partition, creating a connection. That's okay, I think. This one right here, is that it? I think that's everything. Well, let me run this first of all to verify that the reconfiguration worked. Okay. Okay. It's not doing the minimum spanning tree correctly. So we do create connections here. Edges, we go through here. Min heap. And then while it's not empty, we're doing selected edges here. We're returning the selected edge value. Let me make this 0 and see what that looks like. Still not a min heap expansion. It's a little bit confused. Edges. Oh, I'm adding new connections down here. Why am I doing that? Where's this coming from? Unselected edges. We're adding them back. Yes. And then, I mean, we don't need to do this, do we? No. This is for just making a connection. Okay. The minimum spanning tree seems a little bit off. Not sure why. Selected edge. Come over here. There's nothing unselected. Refactor debugging. This our life right now. I wonder if there's something else going on. That's fine. Min heap. Edges are all the edges from the triangulation. And then we have mapping. For the min heap, we have a comparison, distance comparison here. We're creating the edges. And we pop the visiting edge. If it's already visited, we continue. I wonder if this is just not working. It is. Selected. I don't know. None of the edges are unselected, apparently. It's just empty. Wait, what? Oh, it's looping. Okay. I think I tabbed it wrong, potentially. There's only one here. Oh. Yeah, this needs to happen outside of the loop. Oops. Okay, that would do it. There you go. Okay, and then I want to add back. Dem says, "Oh, I know what's wrong. You didn't vibe code it." Yeah, exactly. There's not enough vibe in this code. There's too much hard truth, cold hard truth. Not enough vibe. That's the real answer. Sorry, everyone. How could I not have known? I'm foolish. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I can upgrade by visiting ruins. How about I make it so that the ruins always take the sacrifices that it always takes 1 health and 1 provision. That's the rule. Daniel says, "You're not a real developer these days if AI didn't generate 90% of your code." Lol. Yeah. I'm a fake one. I'm a fake dev. Okay. Looking good. It's a little rough. A little rough here. There's a lot of mountain there. This one doesn't look too bad. I think I want to make increasingly bigger and bigger cluster. So one more thing. Journey mode. Hey, First Superman. First Superman says, "Hi guys, been experimenting with morphing polygons. It's so interesting." Oh, in what ways? Sounds interesting. Not really sure what it means exactly though. Let's see what we're gonna do. I think the ten is okay. I want to provide more room. So, I think I want to make these a little bit more spacious. Like so. So they're spread out a little more. Cool. There you go. Feels a little better. And a lot of them are connected. So I think I'm going to reduce the number of add backs to the cycle, which will be cluster size divided by 3 instead. It's a little bit better. It takes 3 to gain 3. So I think I'm going to reduce the journey speed again, or consumption level. That's a lot. Okay, cool. I'm going to turn off the level upgrade viewer, so it's not there. There you go. Forest. Then I could go there. It's bad. This one has 2 ruins. Perfect. I wonder if there should be 1 or 2 ruins per. I think, you know what? That might actually be okay. Let's do 1 or 2 ruins per. Well, I'm making too many micro adjustments. Okay, let me finish making the game first. So I wanted to make it so that the ports unlock. I did all this because I wanted to make connections between the ports only. So over here I have the ports, and I wanted to get the edges via the ports. So I could say create connections. We're going to grab the ports, and then we're going to add back maybe like minimum spread. And then we're going to add back maybe the same size as the ports, which will be port connections, which is array of triangles. So for the port connections, I think we're basically doing the same thing here, where we're drawing the triangles, but then I think I'm going to do a special port type of connection. So for port connections, we're grabbing these things. Oh, I need the mapping. Okay. Let's do our position to port, which will be dictionary of vector 2 to map node. That. Make port connections. Then says, oh, First Superman says like one polygon smoothly morph into another one. Ooh, like a transitioning, finding the delta of it. Would it be the delta? That's pretty fun. Interesting. Love to know what kind of algorithm you use for that. Demo says, what's the game loop? Right now the game loop is. So the idea is, well, by the way, different version of the game is available in the pinned comment in itch. But the whole goal is discovering 80 locations. And you discover by going next to it. So if you go to a node and then there's a node next to it, it gets revealed. And then it shows up. And every time you move, you spend provision. So you can see that as I'm going down, the provision goes away. If you're out of provision, you start using your health. Obviously, if you run out of your health, you die. So longer means it takes longer to do it. And each node have a bonus. Each node, depending on what type it is, has range of bonuses and harm damage it can do. So for example, here, if I go here, I take -1 provision and +3 health. Well, I'm already at max health, so it doesn't matter. And then basically the idea is you keep moving, strategizing your path. This bonus only gets applied when you first visit it, and you can tell that you haven't visited by looking at the fact that it's shiny. And right now, the thing that we just added was there's an upgrade that helps you with your travel. If you visit a ruin, so you can see the ruin gives 2 max health. This one is autophagy, which is gain provision whenever you lose health, which is really powerful. And basically right here, and I wanted to make it so that, so I discover everything in the section here. I want to make it so that the ports, which I just added, is basically connecting to other ports in other clusters. So basically the idea is you have to discover a certain amount, and you can use that to unlock a path in the port. And then you basically, and then it gets harder because revisiting a node doesn't give you the bonus. You're just like spending your provision. So you're hoping that your upgrades and some of the strategic places that you left it out would help you get back to places, which could be tricky. So I would say, I think I'm going to say every unlock, the port unlock is 5 discovery. So if you discover 5, you can unlock it, basically. Inspirator says, also I watch dev streams, so hi. That's great. We're the dev stream here. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And just like that, the ad starts. Perfect timing. Anyways, so right now I'm making port connections. Bruce Superman says it's based on resampling the polygons into equidistance points that aligned. Oh, so you do need to draw the final polygon first. It's not just random polygon of certain sides. It's like you draw the polygon and then you're doing the equidistance calculation. Interesting. I could see that. The complication could be the deciding which one is the edge and which one is the point, right? How do you merge which points and how do you split which sides? That sounds interesting. Set of edge is port edge. We're making connections. So instead of add connections like this, I want to add a special connection here. Var port connections will be map node so that I can describe them separately. Port connections. It's exactly the same. Instead, we're doing it onto the port connection. Let's say add port connection. And then once the port connection has been created, I suppose I gotta mark if the connections are locked or unlocked, huh? How would I do that? Not really sure how I would do that. Port connection has array to connection. I think I might have to make a new object or new thing that is port connection status. Yes, somehow. Obviously, it has connections. I suppose the port connection, I guess we gotta put it to locked connection instead of locked poor connection. We can say add locked connections. Obviously, I could do a type here instead of is locked, is false. And then basically our connection pool equals connection if is locked, else connections like that. I can just do that. Like that. So over here, add connection AB, and we'll say this is locked. By default is false. Good, good, good. And then for drawing, we want to make sure I suppose I got to get all the I don't have to actually make the triangle, do I? Instead of polylining like that, I might have to draw this based on the connections. Suppose I can do that from the connection itself. For connection handler, we can say func get draw edge, which will just be array of triangle. I can do something with that. More importantly, draw triangle. I'm going to get rid of this. So we can get to those parts. Yeah, pretty simple. So that we'll just say connections, get draw edge. And this one is just simply created by going through for map node in keys, connection, get map node for B, or I guess I could do this. Triangle new, produce the points and get hash code. So we can say var edge, points, push back, A dot position, B dot position. That. Oh, isn't that? It's array, right? Points. too many arguments. Oh. Right. Be the position. I might have to update this, but we'll see. This one might be too slow, but this update doesn't happen too often, so I'm not too worried about it. Set. Like so. And then as a result, we just do values. There you go. And then get draw triangle. We'll do a func get locked draw edge triangle. We're going to do the same thing, except for the connections, it'll use locked connection instead. And then we'll say for locked try in connections, get locked draw edge. We'll draw a polyline here. And for now, we'll do some sort of purple and see how that looks. And then so we'll, after generating, everything is done. Get the locked connection. We're going to cue the redraw. Hopefully that'll just work. Okay. Oh, there are some special connections up here. That's good. Nice. So I see some special connections right here. But pretty cool. I think the proper triangulation has been done here. Seems like it's fully edged. And now I want to make it so that I can use, what about the provision? I don't think I should be using provision. I think it should be like just discovery requirement to unlock. I think the first one should be 6. And it should be multiples of 6, I think. So that one is going to be a little bit difficult, but we'll figure it out. How am I going to do this? So I drew the lock for the... Oh, I just did Control Q on my engine. Let's think of this. I should probably take a break here in a bit because I also have a classroom call. My Godot beginner class weekly call is in a few hours. So I should probably replenish before I do that. But let me just kind of finish my thoughts on this. Port. When I'm at a port, and if it has locked connection, I don't think it even has to be a port. I think it's just any locked connections. I'll make an icon, unlock icon, basically, which will be 16 by 16, and it'll look something like Ah, get out of here. Let's see. This icon probably should look something like... I mean, this is the global lock icon, right? Then suppose I could... I think I do need to use like completely dark color here for better readability. Then do one of these. Then I'll put kind of like interesting highlights. That. Actually, I might just do one of these. So I can put this as the dark color, like so. There you go. Lock. Clock Code Enjoyer says, bro, open a clock code terminal, you good fam. What is this coding for? The dinosaurs? It really is. It is. We love doing history study. So we're just studying the history. I mean, that's how I say it. I find myself, I keep saying this, I find myself being more efficient just deving the old way. Just kind of using it as a tool more so. Let's see. I suppose this UI. Is it graph map actually? It might be actually. I'll say this is a lock path button. Export that out there. All right. So what we're gonna do now. I do think on player character we have this thing called add direction. So we'll see func add locked direction. And then that'll create the same thing. Mikori says, I fed Claude a refactor prompt. It spent 3 hours, 1 million lines of code, modularized everything. None of it worked. But dang, was it beautiful. Taken from some post on Twitter, yeah. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. As long as it's beautiful and it's readable, it doesn't have to work. Nobody checks your code anyways, right? No, obviously not, but sometimes that feels like the idea. Sometimes that do be feeling like the idea out here these days. I mean, it seems like it's basically the same thing. So I'm going to say lock button. And for this one, I think I'm tempted to add another sprite on top of it and just do one of these things. Like so. Will that read? That might read, actually. Is that a mixel? No, it's not. I think that's okay. So I do that. Direction, rotation. I don't know if the rotation will go lock. sprite. And then this one, I'll save it as lock button under map nodes, I want to say. Map characters? No. Graph map nodes. Nope. UI maybe. Nope. Under player? Travel button. Yeah, it is. Lock travel button. Technically, I probably shouldn't have to make a new instance. I think I could have just made it is the arrow locked or not, and then just do that. But I'm already committed to this, so it's okay. You know what? You're right. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it the other way that I was just saying. Because it seems silly that I'm making a whole new thing just for that. So I'm gonna delete this actually. Then make a sprite, say lock sprite. And then do this right here. I'll put this right around the center here. And then there's going to be var is locked. False. If it is true, we're going to say lock sprite visibility will be is locked. There you go. That should do it. Let's see. Misty the Lad says, I always see vibe coders boast about coding with AI, but have never seen one of them ship a game. There's an entire subreddit. I've seen it out of curiosity because I've been okay. So I've said this before, but I'm like, I really want to once and for all really do a fair comparison, right? Because like if I go into doing the video of like, okay, I try using AI completely versus just traditionally, and here's a result. I know there's an argument of, oh, I'm not used to prompting. I'm not a good AI coder. So it's not a fair comparison. Some people might still feel that way. So I've been looking. There is none, by the way. I've been looking for a game developer that are like fully into AI that feels confident enough to do this like content battle thing. So there's a subreddit, by the way. Go look at it. I mean, they're struggling. It seems like there are a lot of cool things here and there, but it's like, I don't know. I haven't seen it. Not yet, at least. Devi says 50 out of 50 vintage slowed. Thank me later. Lol. Huh? What do you mean? What happened? You still can't get in there? Are you guys still struggling to get in here? Should I get off the platform, Devi? There you go. I'm off. McRae says another truthful post. Quote, give a programmer 10 lines of code, he'll find 10 problems. Give him 200 plus lines, he'll say, looks good to me. True. I wouldn't mind using AI for code review. I mean, it's better than not doing any code review. Especially if you do code review from person, do a person code review first, or sandwich it. Do a real person code review between two AI reviews. I mean, that like because that's like innately just review process and there's a person involved, I feel like that's a little bit more useful. That doesn't seem too crazy to me. Okay. So we say, what is this playing? Why is Spotify why is the Spotify keep playing songs that are outside of the playlist? That's my question. Is it because I said I didn't mark the is Smart Shuffle maybe? I don't know. Weird. So strange. Okay, so add locked direction is exactly the same as doing this, except the button is locked. And then when it's traveling, I do think that it needs to, probably button shouldn't trigger if it is locked. Like so. Oh, wrong one. There you go. Let's see if it works. Boom. Let's travel over to the port here. Ooh. Cat. Ooh, interesting connections. Oh, what? Right. Doesn't seem like I added it as the thing here. I almost feel like I might not add back any connections. Should I not? What this one is, because this one, or this example that I just did a lot of connection back. The cycle back seems a little bit too much. Let's see. Let's do half of that as I add back. For add connection or direction, add direction. We'll do this. Same thing here. Connecting locked, connecting POI, get locked connection from. So we'll do, actually, we don't even need to do all that, huh? I'm gonna do this. Say get connection from. It's gonna do that. And then, well, the map node itself doesn't know. So it'll be func get locked connection from. And then just simply do locked connections here. Easy. We'll copy and paste. Locked UI. Get locked connection from. Connecting. Is it revealed? No, we're not going to do any reveal here. Or should I do a reveal? No, it shouldn't be any reveal. Don't set the reveal. We're just going to say add locked direction. Okay, let's see how that feels. It might get real chaotic, but we'll see. Okay. Ugh, that was tough. All right, down here. Ooh, this is a rough gen right there. I need another upgrade. Hold on, this is too tough. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go over here. Why is this not lighting up though? Oh, there's one right there. It's hard to tell. There's two right there. I think the rotation shouldn't rotate this other sprite. I think I should only rotate the... Yeah, here. Add direction. Instead of doing the button rotation, we'll do button dot set rotation or set direction rotation and do this. Then we'll just apply it to the button itself. Travel button. Save funk, set rotation, angle, and we'll set the sprite 2D and area 2D rotation equals angle area 2D equals angle, so that the lock stays still. Doesn't like that. Oh, it's null. Oh. Okay, well, let's see. There you go. This might be a little bit tricky here. There's two directions here. Seems like I'm going to say the locked directions are further out, so they differ. We'll say the position will have more radius further out. So if I go over there, this one is going to be really messy here. So hopefully this will be a good test. Oh, that's not the right one. This. Like so. Oh, that's the same thing. Feel like almost there. Okay. So when I hover over, it should probably show the requirement. I don't know if this is clear though. I don't know how I'm going to indicate that the lock, in order to unlock, you need certain requirement. Let's do travel button And then above it, I could put a unlock requirement. I don't know if this will work or not. How would I? Okay, this is a UX problem. Because if I say if I say 6 to unlock, that's confused. That's confusing, right? For example, if I did something like that. But if I do 6 out of 80, or if I do, does it feel like it'll automatically unlock? Hmm. Reveal 6 to unlock. Unlock requires 6. Is that better? I don't know. Maybe. All right. Oh my god. I guess it is time to stop. Uh, my goodness. So loud. Yeah. I guess it's time to stop because my cat wants me to stop. Ow. Stop it. Need to hear the purr. Purr. Okay. I think it's time. I don't know. I got to think about this. I don't know what the clear messaging would be. I'm trying to not to have tutorial messages as much as I can because that's a lot of work. So I need UX that is like really clear. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right. Well, let's raid out, I guess, on Twitch. Hi. Okay. We'll raid out. We'll raid out. Thanks for watching. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As you know, we haven't gone to Big Boy in a while. Let's go there. Boom. And then, oh, what is this? Looks fun. Looks good. Anyways, all right, I'll see y'all. Bye. Okay. And then we say bye to YouTube.